Forrester. We're back today for another episode of Masters and Mentors. We have been interviewing a lot of entrepreneurs, and we got another one with us today. But this woman, Sandra Garcia, has gone from corporate to entrepreneurship, and I think it is a story that we all need to hear. So we're going to hear about her and her work in marketing, branding, and diversity, and we're going to talk about her journey from corporate to entrepreneurship. And I promise you're going to enjoy it. Sandy, Sandra,
right.
welcome.
Thank you. So excited.
Yes. One of the things I find most fascinating is that you went to school for neuroscience. And I love that you tell the story about not being afraid to pivot from what you went to school from. I think that a lot of people would be intimidated by this opportunity to do something different because they think of what they've already invested. But you looked at what your transferable skills were and then built your resume even after getting a degree in something that was not aligned with the work that you were doing. And then you got smart about the way that you were doing things and approaching your job and collected these career angels who could support you along the way and people that you could model after the things that they were doing that was bringing them success. So I'm feeling a bit of like intuition as a part of your journey and about just allowing yourself to flow into what felt right for you. And by doing that, what I recognize and want to just communicate to any of the viewers is the importance of how well you do at what you're doing, how motivated that you are to show up, how dedicated you are to excellence in your space and to doing something really well because you're allowing yourself to do what feels right for you.
Oh, I'm so glad you went there. Okay.
Tell me more. Expand.
Because
Okay.
that takes me back to being in chemistry in college and crying and feeling stuck because I needed to pursue this path, but life was showing me that it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So I was in search for what felt good, what I enjoy, what I was naturally doing, and then creating a life of it.
Yeah.
So it started in college. And then as I started to navigate the world, it happened over and over again.
Yeah, but that's also kind of like a transferable skill from neuroscience in ways.
Yes, because that's
you
also
did
how I sold myself.
There's the importance of a title on your resume. Is that was something that was a part of your strategy of building yourself up in corporate?
It's branding.
Yeah. Personal
Your
branding.
resume is a piece of marketing. So as individuals, we have our own marketing pieces. Your resume is one of them. Companies have brochures. We have resumes. We have cover letters. We have business cards. So this is all part of your marketing portfolio, and it must look good. It must reflect who you are. It must be tight.
So know your value and negotiate, because so often we don't, and closed mouths don't get fed. If you're not asking for more than what they're giving you and you're just accepting what you're being given, you don't know how much room there is to get more. Case in point.
And
Love it.
You know what? I didn't know all these things, early on, but I felt bad that in 2008, I accepted a job because the market was bad. And I felt like, oh, I'm just happy to be having this interview and being considered for these roles. So yes. And I felt like I had time to make up for. So that was another reason why I was so aggressive in my negotiation. But then also I saw how my male counterpart was negotiating. And, I would attend a lot of professional development, career development, learning experiences, and I would hear about women not negotiating to their fullest capacity or ability. And it was fear that I would not be respected if I didn't advocate for myself. So for me, I was advocating until I heard a no, we can't do it. But I was surprised when they kept coming back with, okay, sure, okay.
And every time that gives you a little more confidence for next time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the confidence boost is phenomenal. And then you try it and test it in other parts of your life.
Yeah. And you show up and do the work and show up with excellence. Because you can't just negotiate.
Now you gotta really show up.
Right. Because they're like, okay, we gave you what you wanted. Now give us what we want. Yeah.
And on my first day, everybody was like, who is this girl?
Oh my God. This has just been such a valuable interview. There's so many jewels that you dropped. So if you're looking to encounter your potential, I hope you've been taking notes. You got to be a sponge, be curious, soak up all of the assets, the knowledge, the wisdom around you. Find out what your transferable skills are. Be flexible enough to go with the flow and pivot when you need to. If something doesn't feel right, take that as a sign. You've got to develop your relationships. You've got to
The social currency.
your social currency. You've got to be
People capital.
bold, be able to negotiate, ask for what it is that you want because closed mouths don't get fed. And also be able to pay attention to the trends of what's happening and not get stuck ever anywhere and not get stuck in some antiquated way of doing things. Now we're in AI. This was 2008 at your time. It was digital. Now we're in a time of AI. So if you're sitting and going, I don't want to learn about that stuff, at some point you're going to get left behind, right? So these are some of the things that I hear helped you to encounter your potential. And I know that you've inspired viewers in the way that you always inspire me and everyone around you. So thank you so much for this time today, Sandra. You're amazing. I told you guys she was going to be great.
It's fun.
Right?
We had fun. We just had girl talk. That's it.
I feel like we need a part 2, and then we'll talk more about the business side of things. But this for today is a wrap. There's so much to wrap your heads around. It's been fantastic. Thanks again, Sandra.